Dạ rồi, dạ con nghe rồi. Dạ. So you get ready. Before I let you ask question, I want to share a few words first. Let me give you the announcement so you know about the schedule that I let Fernando from Brazil to organize a level 20 in the year 2008. Then that would be from the 8th to the 13th of January 2008 for those in South America. In South America, as you organize, you have some connection, just like in Europe, you have several connections, or in Iran, or in Thailand. The main point, it is from Australia broadcasting to all of these locations. Remember, from the 8th to the 13th of January 2008, that is for the level 20. That is my schedule, so you know, so you can prepare to take the holidays or the vacations in a short time, so you can attend the class. In parallel to that, I want to update for you, in the case of a level 19, on the first day, as I have taught you, there are a number of you that you updated the document, the summary notes. So that's why I decided to update for you, so you know clearly. In the level 19 on page 2, that we talk about merging each day, the 3% maximum at the present time. But in the past, I allow you to do it every 30 minutes. So now I decide to take that out. So now, in the level 19, each day when you practice, you merge with me, and each day you can merge maximum only 3% a day. Listen carefully. And eventually, I will send to you the updated technique in terms of how you merge with the people, meaning your family members who are severely sick, or people with social problem, or your close friends, then you merge to help. However, if you have many people, let's say you have 6%, for example, 6 severe sickness people. On the first day, you merge to 3%. The second day, you merge to 3%. And you keep on rotating. Each day, you merge to 3%. So with this 6%, perhaps in 10 days, as you merge, so 5 days, you merge to the first 3, and then 5 days, you merge to the next 3. But all in one day, you can not merge to 6%. For sure, it's not effective. That is how I share with you, so you can understand. If we can update the document, then it is the best. Otherwise, you update the note that you have right now, so it is clear for you. That is on page 2 in a summary note that you have right in front of you in this level 19. Now I explain in general for you about the agenda of the level 20 schedule, as well as update for you the summary notes for the level 19, so you are able to practice more successfully. So now I'll let you continue to ask questions. So now continue.
Thank you, Master. This is a question from Mozambique. Here in Mozambique, 25% of the population has AIDS. And the number of people infected increases every day. The preventive education is based on traditions, family, society, etc. But you told us the traditions, family, society, and culture are a trap, and that we should get rid of this in order to be able to reach wisdom and enlightenment. So how can we do in order to educate people in a preventive manner to avoid increasing the levels of infected people with AIDS? So that was the first question. Master Deng told us that at level 20, the students merge with the higher beings, do they keep the soul of a higher being? And last question. You told us, Master, that God always forgives us. And even if we have sins or if we do not have sins, what do the higher beings think about this? You told us that God forgives everything, but we fail if we are selfish. Could you please elaborate on that, Master? Thank you very much.
Now let me answer for you in general. In this case, I allow you the level 19 and 20. If you have the ability, you can help the people with AIDS. You transfer energy 9 times to the center where they help the HIV patient. You can do it individually. Each person, let's say you have 6 or 9 patients with AIDS. Each day you can merge only 3 persons. You're continuing like that. Let's say the first group of 3, and then the next day the next group of 3, and the following day the next group of 3, and then you keep on rotating. You can do this to help these people. The condition at the moment, in the case of AIDS, there is no cure. There is no medication that has the capacity to help them to improve the immune system. However, in the teaching of UE, a number of you, the students, you are fortunate that perhaps you have been living for 10 years without any problem. I see many of my students, they knew they have the problem, and in principle for those with that problem, they should supposed to die 5 or 7 years ago, but a number of my students, they are very fortunate. After 10 years, now they're still alive. As they know how to practice, they know how to apply. And even though they had a normal life, not in a reckless lifestyle like in the past, but now they follow me for 10 years, they're still healthy and helping people. And nobody knows that they have HIV. That is how I share with you in the case of AIDS. Among our students, similarly for you, there's no exception. Anywhere when they see the problem with the AIDS clinics, you just receive a light of God aura and send 3 seconds, 9 times to this. And each day you transfer energy to that clinics 9 times. That is how you do it collectively to have all of these AIDS clinics. And let's say your collective list right here. If you know these people with AIDS, you can keep them just like a severe problem. So each day you receive a light of God aura and send 9 times to the list. Or if you want to treat that person individually, then you can take them out 3 persons and you merge 3 persons a day. That is how I share with you. You are able to apply. I hope that in the future, in the decade of the 21st century, as you learn the level 20, you have the ability, we have the ability, we can solve, not just in the case of AIDS, but perhaps all of the problem like handicap, you're able to help them to recover. That is a wish of the deities, also Master Dang's wish, as well as the wish of those who are unfortunate that they have handicap or problems. I have decided then, once you have the time, you have the ability, you help them within your constraint. I do not have any restriction for you from now to the future. For the past period, I explained to you already about the soul. That is an infinite wealth that even from the past until now you never have. If there is not an ordinary soul. Even though you are in level 3, you have the chakra open 100%. You can help the lower soul to evolve, not to mention that now you are in a higher level with a higher soul that come to you. And this higher soul, meaning these are the one with the great mission that from the deities to help mankind with wisdom and enlightenment. Therefore, you are fortunate that this soul support you and help you, then what else do you want? However, I cannot blame my student. I rather blame you, because I know for those who that they have wisdom and enlightenment and they are still selfish and they still have greed and power, not to mention to you as the fifth human race. So more of you will be in that trap. More of you, you have the problem of selfishness and power, even though it is only in a small scale within the family, among the brother and sister, parents, children. You want power. I cannot blame, because I know. I do not blame you. I just hope, I just remind you, how can you reduce the problem of selfishness and power? Then you do not have any war in a smaller scale inside your family, or in a larger scale, meaning out in the world. That's all my hope. And whether we can do it more or less, how much you can listen to me, how much you can do it, it is up to your decision, not the decision of Master Dang. Master Dang just remind and guide you, that's all. That is my mission. That is how I share with you, so you can understand and you know that you have the ability and opportunity to help many people in many situations. So for that reason, I advise for you, if you understand and you recognize it, you can help all the people. To help all the people, they are no strangers, not from one continent or another. These are the one in your family, your brother and sister-in-law. Do you love them? Do you hate them? If they do not agree with you, you love your brother and then you curse at your sister-in-law. You love your sister and you curse at your brother-in-law. Most of the family around the world will have the same problem. You know why? Selfishness. You want everything for yourself, not for others. And you never have enough, and you don't want to share to anyone. Your nature, you cannot even take care of yourself, and you try to cover for all. That's why you suffer. Even if you don't want to, you get sick. I tell you the truth, that is how you get sick. You have 10 and you give 3 or 7, then you will never get sick, and you feel very relaxed and comfortable. But you have 10, but you want to use 30. Where do you find 30? You try to deceive this person, that person, and to lie here and there, so that you can satisfy for you to get that extra 20. That's why you die. You die for others. You suffer for others. I tell you the truth. You said, why? That is the reason. So I advise for you, and you help the suffering, not the poor. No matter how much, you can not help all the poor. Now, even if you are a billionaire, you not even help them. When they say they are poor, even if with 10 billion, you would lose all the money, not to mention to help them with thousands of dollars. I tell you the truth. People are so selfish. With or without money, they still ask for it. When they're suffering, they ask, and when they are not suffering, they ask for it. So if you don't want to suffer, don't spend too much, don't boast, don't have greed. And you know that you are suffering, but you keep on wanting everything. You don't have anything, but you want everything. That's why you die. You are selfish, and people work for you, and you die, and you bring people to die with you also. But then I understand for all of you, that is only my reminder. No matter what you want to do, it is up to you. I don't have any comment. Remember this. No matter what you want to use, I do not have any comments. But when you say, Master Dang, save me, then if I can, I save you. Otherwise, I will give you the money to buy the burial ground. I always give you them to buy the coffin, money to buy the coffin. It is not, do not, for the Northerner, do not think that I give you the box to carry jewelry. Now I explain for you the invisible being. They discipline you so that you can become a good person, because the soul of the high being who come to you, they see the human world. We are so strange when we are eating and wearing, and then so we are strange. And sometimes when they do not eat and wear, and they're still strange. I tell you the truth. You listen carefully. When they still eat and wear, they're still strange, and without eating or wearing, they're still strange. So how can they blame us? They forgive because they know they themselves have the problem. So that's why they forgive us. You think that the deities are good? They are just like us, because they've been on earth just like us. They eat and wear. They are man and woman. They have the family. They know how to love. They have grandchildren just like us. But they were fortunate that they leave the body here and they went back, and they know in the past and that's how they were, and now you are like us because they know that you are just like them. So they try to remind us not to be like them. I see that now you are just like them. I teach you very practical so you can see. I tell you the truth. However, those who do not have the physical body, they have the ability to help us. So that we can control our greed, control our wanting. Why? So that our body can have wisdom, enlightenment. It doesn't mean that these high beings do not allow us to use, but we can in a restricted way. You feel sad or you feel hatred only for 5 minutes. These are the soul with the capacity to help our body. When you feel sad or more and you feel grudges or hated more, then you suffer. That's why they give you only 5-10 minutes and then it stopped. It's not that you say that you do not have anger. My God, when you are human, then you feel anger. There's no one on this world that say that you don't have anger. You can. There's one person who do not have any anger, never feel any anger, never feel any sadness. You know who that is? It's not a high being. It's not. Do not think. I always say that it's not a high being. That person is in a coma. In a coma, he's in a coma. He don't feel. He just lie there in a coma. That is better than Buddha. Do you want to be like that? If you don't want to, then just try to control yourself. If you feel anger, just 5 minutes. If you don't want to feel suffering or emotion or sadness, be just like that. But I myself, I feel anger. I tell you the truth. I show you the way already. You feel anger for the shortest time, that's the best for you. However, from my experience from Master Dang, in this world, nobody is angry just like Master Dang. In the past, I kept my anger for 30 years. I was very hot-tempered. But then, after I felt hot-tempered and I was able to reduce, and I realized the lesson the deities who revealed to me, it is a way to activate all the nervous system with the blockage. When it is a blockage, then your soul, the new soul, listen carefully, your new soul in level 19 here. When you say that you are so peaceful, you don't have any anger, the moment you think like that, do not think that you don't have anger. There is high soul that merges into your body, knowing that you are good, you don't have anger, but then because you are sick, because of worries, because of the climate, the temperature, the weak immune system. So this high being, as they merge with you in a level 19, they provoke you to have anger. You really feel anger. The entire nervous system is stimulated for 5 minutes. Suddenly you regain back to normal. Then you are able to cure your illness. You don't feel sadness and anger anymore. That lesson I went through already. The reason I said that you feel sad or anger for 5 minutes, you feel suddenly a very hot temper for 5 minutes, and then suddenly it cool down. Then the entire nervous system inside your body will regain back to order. Then that will solve all the blockage in the blood circulation from a medical perspective, or the disordered state of all the nervous system. That is how it can help your body to regain. With the condition, you feel very hot temper for 5 minutes. If it is 4 minutes, it's better, or 3 minutes is even better. But I let you feel anger for only 5 minutes. Then that is how you can find a cure to help your disease problem, health problem. Now, if you're lying there, you feel sick because of cough or a flu, can you feel angry or not? No. But when Master Dang can really provoke you, you will feel very angry. I tell you the truth, it's not a joke. When you're right there, you are really sick, feeling weak. So what is a motive that can really provoke you to be angry? But if someone who can really provoke you to be really angry, then you can really find a cure. You will have a very strong immune system. That is the remedy from the deities. It's not that you say that being angry, there's no value. This high being, they will provoke you to feel anger. This is to protect you. So this is my answer for you. So the husband, wife, the parents, and they might provoke you. It is in fact the other soul that possess this one who will provoke you to feel anger, so to help you improve your immune system, because they are preparing to help you on that point. I had warned that ahead of you for you. So you know, and suddenly you realize that that is the one who provoked you, that Master Dang who told you already, so you feel much better. The moment you just feel anger and then suddenly you remember and you don't feel sad or angry anymore, the one to provoke you. So instead of hitting them and you ask them to go to a restaurant and eat with you, because of them, suddenly they provoke you, so you feel better. Otherwise, with money, you have to go to the pharmacy and you may not cure. It is not that person. It is your soul is so high capable that possess that person to provoke you to feel angry, so that you can have wisdom. You feel angry, but you can have wisdom to feel anger. That in 5 minutes you forget it, then you can have wisdom. That like Master Dang, I hold grudges for 30 years. You cannot become anyone, not even Master Dang. You cannot have wisdom if you hold grudges for long. I show you these are the very special means I want to share with you. I also prepare your mind as I prepare your body. When you complete the level 19, when you go back to your family, when you go back to see your friends, when you go back to see your acquaintance, all of these situations that happen, you remember Master Dang had guided you and reminded you today. Then suddenly you feel at peace right away, and you can have wisdom on that point. Do not say that if from the East, they say that because when you're angry that you lose all of your merits and blessing. But so you maintain that for a long time, you lose everything, but for a short time, you can have wisdom and enlightenment. The way I teach you in level 19 in here is different than the previous one. Now I explain for you. God loves us. That's why God gave us all the freedom. God teaches us to have wisdom. God teaches us to have enlightenment. God gives us all the freedom. But then, do you know how to use your freedom or not? From the first to the fifth human race, you do not know how to use your freedom. What is your freedom? That is the truth, your true self, the enlightenment. But you do not know how to use it. The freedom to have the true self, to obtain the truth, to be enlightened. The humankind, after 5 cycles, nobody understands the freedom that God had given to us. Today, in the level 19, for the first time, I explained to you about the freedom that God had given to us. So given to you, but you never use it. To give you the freedom here, that is the freedom that nobody would know. That nobody would know that you are using your freedom. The ability that God had given to all of the people. God had given the ability to use so you can serve people. God had given to you the ability so you can know wisdom, enlightenment, meaning to serve people. It doesn't mean you have ability to be their father. That's why the first to the fifth human race, one of the greatest error of the humankind, that is selfishness and power struggle. They think that God gave them the freedom so that they can conquer the whole world. They are wrong. You are selfish to have everything for yourself. You are wrong. The freedom, as I explained to you, the freedom to use the ability from God, to contribute to help mankind, to act, to help people, to have wisdom and enlightenment. Doesn't mean you have freedom that you can do anything you want. You can. Among that, you can benefit. How come you don't do it? You want to protect yourself. Everything just you yourself are number one. People are number two. 5 cycles, not just in one. The last cycle that the deities had given to me, the mission, who chose my body, who sent a soul here, is to remind you of the 5 human race from the past until now. How come 5 human races? Because the first to the 5th human races, the 5th human race do not have the ability, selfishness, power struggle, but the first, they also have selfishness and power struggle. For that reason, God sent what a strange soul had never been on earth in order to guide them, the 5 human races, to guide this soul from 5 human races. God had given to them the freedom, meaning to use the ability from God to help people with wisdom and enlightenment, not for themselves alone. It's not that the freedom you can do anything you want, because nobody explained clearly for them about the freedom. What is the freedom God had given? Today, Master Dang explained to you about the freedom God had given to us. This is this mission. Our mission is to help mankind to have wisdom and enlightenment. It is not just for ourselves or for our own group. We're wrong in thinking like that. I come here to remind you, that's all I can remind you for the past 18 years of my teaching. That is all I've been trying to say. If you understand and recognize it, that is the invaluable wealth that God has given to the humankind, not for Master Dang, not for the large AOE family, but for the whole world, for the whole humankind. If we know how to use the freedom that the Dictator has given to us, then everyone would be at peace and have wisdom and enlightenment in the future from the 21st century and beyond. Today, to this question, as you asked, and my answer, this is the newest answer, talking about the freedom that God had given to the humankind, to all of us. Next question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Donaes?
Yes, but please make sure that your floor is muted, that you don't have any of your sound going through the hole, please.
Por favor, quítenme del sonido, por favor.
Okay, and no sound of, no other sounds, so no Christina in the background either. Give me a try?
Por favor, me quiten a mí, atrás, o sea, el sonido de aquí que lo quiten.
Otro micrófono.
No, no tiene que ver. Hello, Boo?
Yes?
Can you hear me, Boo?
Yes?
Okay. Our question is, Master, thanks for all your teachings. When we travel to space, is it the same space Buddha and Jesus reached? Will we find the same teachings they got? Or does knowledge evolve as humankind does? If the fourth race was so wise and enlightened, why selfishness and power were stronger? Are they more powerful energies? Could it be possible that our physical body gets into conflict with the new soul we are going to receive? Thank you, Master. Is it clear, Boo?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Ciérralo si quieres.
Now, through your question, let me answer for you. How come you have the Old and the New Testament 2,000 years ago? The teaching of Jesus, it was appropriate to the level of humankind 2,000 years ago. Now it is different than now. Without tradition, culture, family, dogmas, or chemicals, they live in nature. Buddha similarly. Buddha left the throne to find the truth in order to help mankind with the knowledge, infinite knowledge, to help people to avoid the case of human oppressing others. The dictators oppressing, harming people. These are the powerful people with money, power in India at that time, oppressing the people. Buddha tried to clear those that are unnecessary. He tried to clear it so that the human can live in a true sense. That now we talk about the human right. In the past, they do not have it. 700 years ago in Thailand, they do not have that. They have the slave from Europe to bring over to Asia in Thailand. Not to mention, in the previous centuries, in China, in Vietnam and in China, they were one. But then the people in Vietnam, it is not that I'm saying that they are kind, but they are very evil. But they are not equal to China. The rich people, after death, they bury. They would buy 4 live servants to bury them alive for a living person to bury them, so they can follow to serve the dead or rich person. They are just the poor people. That's why they had to sell their body. So instead of living, they're not able to take care of their family. So they agree to be buried alive with the rich people, so that they leave the money to take care of their family. Among these people, one of them, in my student, the two families, they are still alive. The husband, the ancestor was so rich, they died. They bought a forced slave to bury them alive, so that they can have the servant. And the wife also, they bury them alive. They just dig for hole and burying them. The dead person is buried in the coffin, and the forced servant buried alive in four corners of around the coffin. So Buddha saw that ahead, but nobody listened to Buddha, the teaching. That's why we continue on the journey to kill each other, to harm each other, through the way that these rich and powerful people who buy the life of people, we see of humans worse than animals. That happened. That was in recent 1 or 2 centuries, perhaps in the 20th century. Now we are into the 21st century. Now, what do you think? That is the environment of the people who live. These are the human with the intelligence. They are just the poor. They are slaves. 7, 10 centuries, 20 centuries ago, 25 centuries ago, Buddha saw that, but Buddha cannot erase it. Buddha had went ahead, and then 5, 7 centuries, several centuries later, there are people in Thailand who knew and recognized it, and that was only a recent 300 years until now, about 300 years until now. But before that, the people in Thailand, they were the rich people. They bought the slave from Europe to be a servant inside the family. That is how I share with you among the humans. These humans, they are worse now. So, mentioning about my people, in my people, the animal are a lower one. But in Europe, from the West, in Australia here, the human, we are the 5th man. As they analyze, man is the 5th one, no matter how good you are. You are the 5th rank. You can see who devised this power, or the human. They mention about humane, about the people. No matter how good you are in the man. You are the 5th rank. If you touch the 1st and the 2nd rank, whether you have power, you will be in jail. We cannot violate it. So you can see. That is from the West. From the East, they torture them. Not to mention that they are the 5th. They said when they are drunk, if they don't give them liquor, they would kill them, and then otherwise they abuse them. So you still have to stay in the house. And you can see each race, they are different. But if over here they don't have to abuse, they just violence, they couldn't call the police, and then you'll be in jail. Otherwise, you'll be separated. In America, I just share with you. It is one of the funny story. The husband, that husband, he's very unfortunate. He's a 5th rank. He's working, and at home he kicked the dog. When the dog bite him, he kicked the dog. The dog belonged to the wife, so she called the police. And the police asked why. She said that she's working, and husband kicked the dog, so they arrest him, put him in jail. And then 7-10 days later, she called the police, and she had to bring $600 as bail, $600 for bail, and he has to be in jail for 10 days because of a dog. He has to be in jail for 10 days. In Vietnam, like that, he would kill the wife. Not to mention about killing the dog. In Vietnam, he would kill the dog first and kill the wife later. If you try to take him to court over here, if you kill the dog, you'll be in jail with a severe penalty. So you can see a man's life is worse than a dog. For sure, it is like that. That's why I have to worship the dog. I'm afraid of the dog. I see the dog, I run away. It's best. Otherwise, they put me in jail. That is a fact. In any country, especially those countries that they love animal. My God, I see in Australia. Perhaps you don't see in South America. You don't know. In the case of flood, in the flood, the helicopter come. They say that take care of the dog first, and then take care of him later. But if it is me, I let you die with the dog. You don't take care of your own life. And they said take care of the dog first, and before take care of him. Otherwise, if I'm a helicopter pilot, I'll fly away. My God, these humans, they demand so many things. You can see that is a high level of knowledge, but below the dog. No matter how high you are, you're below the dog because the dog is controlling you. You can see. That is so strange in the human world. That's why. Do not analyze why and why and why. Each continent, each country, each race, they are different. No matter how you judge, you are wrong. So it's best do not judge. We see what they do to bring the light of joy to you. Do not feel sad, do not feel suffer. Because the tradition, culture, families in society, that's how they are. They have to accept it. So that is my reminder for you for that reason. So this question, as you know, Buddha, who knew it ahead, but he couldn't say anything. Therefore, the disciple of Buddha, he could not even understand, so how can the public we can understand? In Christian, Jesus knew it ahead. He created, he said that all the living creatures from God to Christ, all the living creatures are children of God. You have to love them just like you love your children. You say yes in front of God, you say yes. After he left, you say no. That is a fact. You go to the church, the priest teach you, and you listen, but you don't understand. He spend the time from the morning to night, 5 sessions, 5 mass, you're preaching. You listen, you said today the mass is sounds so good, sounds so profound. When you walk out, you forget. You don't even remember. Only you sound good when you are in the church. That's all. So you are fortunate. Comparing them to those, these are the richest founders. Now they merge to you to teach you as the new humans, the new world. So that is more appropriate with these new changes in order to help mankind. If we follow the old ways, you try to help them, they do not listen. 1,000 years ago, they do not believe in Buddha or Christ. So now they merge with us to help us. So we are able to help their religions so that they can develop further. We do not have this ability. It is they who help us. We have this ability. That's how I explain for you. We are fortunate that they learned ahead and they went ahead of us. Now they merge with us as we are following them, as we are serving them to help their own religion to develop higher. That is my explanation for you. At this time, the 21st century, we are fortunate that I had just mentioned to you. And now, as I answered to you already, 5 human races, they do not know how to use the freedom that God had given. All of the human race, they thought that God had given the freedom so we can do anything we want. That is the greatest error of the humankind within the 5 human race for the past many million years until now. So now, after millions of years, our generation, our world as we live here, our century right here, they merge with us to discipline us and train us so we can share to all of the others so they can become just like us, so we can regain the wisdom, enlightenment without a problem of selfishness and power. Then we have everything. That would be the freedom that God had given to the humankind. After millions of years, the human will recognize it. The reason that you are able to recognize it, that is because this high being, they had learned through, gone through, and they were not clear about the concept of the freedom that God had given to us. As they are clear and they merge with us and help us so that we are clear about the freedom God had given to us, so we can share to all other people in the case as they can benefit from the freedom that God had given to all of us. And now I explained for you already, there are many others, but I just want to share with you the high soul, the new soul, They have a lot of ability who want to teach and discipline us so we can become a good person to contribute to help people to have wisdom and enlightenment. But if you listen to your new soul that is good, then you can help yourself, your family, your country, your people, your society. If intentional or unintentional you deny, you don't accept, then the soul cannot do anything to you. But then, if you promise to help, you say you love, then you promise to help, to love the people in your family. That is to promise. You only just promise by the word of mouth. In theory, you don't do it. In that way, you do not love them. You only love yourself. You do not love anyone else, including you. You don't even love yourself. Then for sure, do not say that you love your parents or your spouse or your children or your grandchildren. For sure, you do not love them. You love, that is a selfish love. It is not a true sense of love. The true love meaning you take care of the ancestors, the children and grandchildren, now as well as in the future. That is how you express true love. I just remind you, to love here meaning to love the soul, those who are linked to us, so they can evolve higher. To love here meaning to love the body and the soul. As we are fortunate, we can regain back to the stage of 30 million years ago, so we can live beyond time and space. That allows the lifespan so we can serve mankind. I often remind you, the humankind, they are no strangers. When we talk about the spiritual world, we are all in the same house. From a material sense, the humankind, now they are your family and your children, grandchildren in the future. That is how I explain for you, so you understand. Do not think about the humankind. In fact, due to the level of the 5 human races, they are not recognizing it, that the human race, they are all your family members from the root, because we are all the children of God, as we do not recognize it. Including the first to the 5th human race, we did not recognizing it, even though they are the one with wisdom and enlightenment. If the one from the 1st to the 4th human race, they have wisdom and enlightenment, they know all of the people around them are children of God, the soul, all the soul God has created, knowing that we are all in the same family, then they would not be selfish, because they did not know. That's why they have selfishness. So now, as you love your children and grandchildren, you want to take care of your children and grandchildren, but for others, you do not take care of them. But through your journey, if you see the vision that these strangers are your grandparents, and you love them, because you do not know. The deity is blocked, so you do not know. Without knowledge, that's why you deny. As you deny, these are the strangers. Because of that reason, that's why 2,000 years, Jesus had taught us. They are all children of God. God created them all. Yes, but then after you say yes, you say no right away. You do not agree, you do not believe. That's why the nature of all the people, as a human, in the closest tie, meaning parents, grandparents, children, grandchildren, we help each other first. Afterwards, we can help outsiders. To help the strangers or to help family members later, they are, but very rare. There are some that help the stranger first. That is how I share with you. We are not conflicting. The conflicting that is inside our body. The soul never have conflicts. Now let's say you do not know. As you are in the level 19, the deities ask the brother of Master Lemon to remind you, so you know everything. And this is the real one. Because you are not a sorcerer and you become a sorcerer, you don't know it. You are not a doctor, you are not a healer, and you become a doctor and healer, you are not aware of it. And if it is real like that, it is not yours. Who gives this ability to you? God has sent the soul to help your body. That is how I explain for you. The conflict, it is inside of you. You think it is not, but in fact it is. You think it is not right, but in fact it is right. That is you are contradicting yourself, not the soul. The soul just comes to the body just to help the body to have wisdom and enlightenment, so that your body can help others to have wisdom and enlightenment just like us. Then our soul are never in conflict. As they agree, they accept, because more or less our body has been chosen by the deities, so they agree to come to help us in that sense. But do you agree or not? I explained for the past few days, just like just now, Buddha and Jesus taught us, do you listen to them or not? No. Because of the aunt or the family members, you only listen to if they agree with you. Because you live in a fake world, you like a fake one. You don't like the fake, but you keep on hang on to the fake. That is the greatest error. You don't like, but you keep. Now you hate that person. You don't like that person, but how come you keep on remember that person? That action is wrong. How come you keep on remember to criticize them? How come you keep on thinking of that? How come you don't keep something that you like that person? For example, that person even lead a reckless lifetime, but knowing how to love people with the money giving all to the temple or to the poor. How come you don't remember this type of action? That person he's a liar, always deceiving people, and he keep deceiving people, but you are deceiving more than them. And you keep on remember this action of this deception, and you say that they are deceiving, but you are the master of deception without knowing it. That is why you are contradicting yourself. But if you know that they are deceiving people, but then just like Buddha, he buy one to sell 10, and then he share all his profit to others. Can you do like them? That's what Buddha taught you. No, you don't want to. You want to leave it for your family and your children to inherit. That is why you're contradicting yourself. You want to ask about conflict. I share with you. It is yours, not others. It is not the soul or others. It is you and you. And if you know that you are contradicting, then you can clear it. Then you don't have any more conflicts. Because you say that they are bad, do not learn their bad lesson. Think of the good side, and you cannot be bad. How can you be bad? Every day you keep on thinking good and good and good, good and good. And you can see. If you keep on thinking bad and bad, and you store all the bad things, even if you want to be good, you cannot. And all those bad things belong to the others, and you keep in yourself. If it is yours, then you keep, but it belongs to them, and you bring it to your mind, so that you, from a good to turn into a bad person. That's how you're contradicting yourself. So that is sufficient. Now go on to the next question.
Hello, Boom. Thank you very much. This is Mexico too, and here is our question. Dear Master, today you mentioned that the soul that we will have within us, as of this level, that will come today or tomorrow. Why is this so? You are preparing us physically to be able to receive this new soul? Are you elevating our energy vibration so that we can receive this new soul today or tomorrow? How do we understand the meaning of the Trinity? Understanding that the Father is the universe, the Father, the Creator, the Son being humanity and the sense of earth, and the Holy Spirit being the Spirit. Is this right, Master? Thank you very much, beloved Master, for all the things you do for us.
More or less, as I have learned a lot from you, as I learned from the deities 34 years ago, more or less, I also received the message from the deities who revealed to me, and as I teach you, beyond the books in the human world. So, we are able to achieve today, we have the ability to contribute to help mankind. It is not that I'm saying that I'm high or low, that is not important. The important part is, as I teach, I remind and help you, so you can recognize and you know that according to the books that mention that the truth, that is enlightenment. The truth and enlightenment meaning you know everything. So we are able to contribute to help. So all the people will have the same knowledge, so they are able to help others. That is the concept of human helping humans. Slowly, a step at a time, as I teach you, as you see the change in your soul, and the change of the soul, that is God who sent a soul to you, because your body has been chosen by God. that you are not aware of it. For that reason that you do not know, that's why I teach you from one level to another, from each formula, from the principles, so you are able to achieve through the way that you are applying, as God has chosen your body to serve people. So you can think back from the time when you come to learn UE. From the moment you learn the level 3 with your chakra open 100% until now, today, all of the changes up and down in your life, to see whether you want or not, to see if you can do it or not. All of this, whether you want or not, you are able to come because God had chosen you. But then, the freedom God had given to you, you do not fully understand that freedom. Even if you don't understand the freedom, but the change of the soul always guide your body to come, so you can come to the class, so that I can remind you, to share with you, with everything that it is not, you're not able to grasp, with everything that you are about to get. That it would be just like the life of Master Dang. 34 years ago, a step at a time, I see the changes in my life, the changes in my mission, so that I can travel to teach, to help all of you after 18 years of my teaching. So for you, the deities, they don't see the deities or God. You only see Master Dang. Master Dang learn from the deities and teach you and remind you what for. So you, in the future, you will be just like Master Dang. And now you are better than Master Dang. That is, I want to share with you that in the level 20, 18 years ago, when I thought I opened chakra each level at a time, after 18 years, my student, you don't have to open chakra 30 or 60%. You have the ability to open chakra 100% for a person. Without open chakra 30 or 60%. That is why the student Master Dang is better than me. Your soul is higher. Your body has been chosen by God. The mission that the God had given to you. So even if you don't want to, you have to do it. Even if you don't know how to do it, you will. If you don't want to learn, you will. Because they had chosen to you and bring you into the class. That is how I explain for you, so you understand and you know that you are preparing the journey to take care of yourself, to take care of your family and yourself, not strangers. Now, about the Trinity, that is the human that make up. But in fact, from my understanding, as I learned from the deities, there's only two. Two meaning the human on this world, we're talking about the yin and yang. That in a teaching, we temporarily refer to the body and the soul. The Trinity meaning from the Catholic doctrine, from the East, they have the heaven, man and earth. So the concept of, in Chinese concept, heaven, earth and human. With that unity, we have everything. From a Buddhist standpoint, they have the three, the Buddha, the angels, and the saint. And from the Catholic, they have the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. You can see that is appropriate because those who research to write, they are very clever, because in a three-dimensional world, there are only three. It is not that Buddha, saint and angel, or heaven, man and earth, no matter how they divide, there are only three in the three-dimensional world, not even four. You can see the East, Buddha, saint, angel, and the West, Holy Spirit, the Father and the Son, only three, not four. Three, they will continue. You can the secret, no matter how the secret, you will be revealed. So now you can see, according to legend, you just talk about three. I'll tell you, my people, they are very superstitious, and it is real, and they make up many of this environment to help people to understand. You know, during the war, as I was there, as you can see, many people, due to superstition, they always go 3%. They say 3% is an omen or unfortunate. You go in a war, you go into the jungle, and then you smoke. Over there, a sniper you can see the first person light up a cigarette, and you have a cigarette that you divide into three, and the first one who smoke, the second who smoke, the third one who smoke, and then the sniper shot you because they can see the light of the cigarette. So the sniper can see it, three of you as the guard. By the time the third one smoked and then you got killed, and then you keep on saying three is a bad omen, and you are afraid that taking picture with 3 person, when you take a picture and take picture with Master Dang, and then you keep on thinking that take picture with 3 person as an omen. My country, everything they are superstitious, and they say on the 5th, the 14th, the 23rd, only three. These 3 days, they are bad day, unlucky day. If it is, then the whole country on that day, everybody is not going to work. Once in a while, on that day, it is a bad day, and then you see it is a 5th, or on a bad omen on the 14th, or the 23rd in a month. But on the date, it is the heaven, or the. They said that you go out to the house and you have an accident or you have an injury on those dates. It makes people, they are so superstitious. So that's how I share with you, because the deities are very clever. We always refer to the Trinity, the three. That is a means to help us to learn to progress. So each level you can progress, but in fact, there's only two. All the human and the living creature, there's only two: the body and the soul. The soul, the form of deity who sent down here. The body, created by the material. Through the gene and the nutrition as we are born here. That is in this time. I'm talking about this time. In the past, we do not know. So through my lecture, in many of the high levels, I mentioned that in the future, if we know how to use the light of God's aura, universal energy, we do not need the sperm of the man and still give birth. That was 2,000 years ago with the Virgin Mary. That is the first sign to show, to recognize, for the human world to recognize. But nobody research. Nobody want to research whether it is real or false. Nobody research on that. But as I teach you, if in the future, next year, if there's one lady without the sperm and can give birth, that would be the one from the deities. That is the children from universal energy. From the higher soul that's sent down here. That is how I share with you. In the past, I do not learn about this, but in the recent years that I have been teaching you, as I've been teaching you, perhaps in the future, the environment, that time would come to the humankind, not just to us or in your family. So that's how I share with you. Now, next question.
Mexico 3, and they will also ask for Uruguay.
Okay. Good evening, Master Dang. Thank you. My question is, if I won't be chosen to take level 20, Master Dang, with all my practices that you have talked to us, will I still keeping the same energy level and 100% chakras open? Thank you, Master Dang.
Adonis, can you please tell her to repeat the question? We couldn't receive it. We had a lot of interruptions.
Okay, Mexico 3.
Okay.
You got it, right?
Yes, Boo.
So
Okay, a ver. If I won't be chosen to take the level 20th, doing all my practices that you have teaching us, will I still keeping the same energy level and 100% chakras open? Thank you, Master Dang. Is it clear, Boo?
Yes, much better.
Thank you.
Sorry, Boo, you were in the wrong channel. Can you repeat it one more time, Boo?
Okay, hello. The master is asking for you to clarify the question, as you are wishing to be able to learn the level 20 so that you are able to have the ability to open chakra 100%. Is that what you are asking? Can you clarify?
Okay, no. The students want to know that if she doesn't go to the level 20, if she can still remain with the same energy level and with her chakras open, her own chakras, if she don't go to level 20. And if in a way the master is going to choose the students to go to level 20. Is that clear, Boo?
Yes. I thought only the Vietnamese they worry. Also in South America, you worry just like the Vietnamese. So I have a pity for you. I confirm one more time for you. Regardless of any level, your chakra, you keep the same, it's open. If you want to develop on your spiritual path, if you want to help your soul to evolve, if you want to help all the people to have wisdom, enlightenment, in wisdom, enlightenment here meaning to have knowledge to help people who do not have the understanding, you don't lose anything, regardless of any level that you are. However, there are a number of you worry and you fear. So I advise for you, when you have worries and fear, just practice. When you have a lot of worries and fear, I have a formula. On Sunday, during the time that I designed in Europe, in South America, in Asia, during that time, you sit very relaxed for 10 minutes on Sunday, then you are able to recover your energy, regardless of any level that you are. I explained that point for you. However, from the level 16 and higher, you don't have to sit to receive the energy. All you need is 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes to practice, to help your body, to transform into energy, to travel to space, then you have everything. And regarding the level 20, as I decided, whoever had the criteria, as you graduate at level 19 and you sign up, then I agree for you to come to attend the class. You don't have to worry about it. From the east, the west, north and south, regardless of any region, when you organize a level 20, you submit the application, I accept. The reason I accept to let you, because I know in the future, more or less, you have the mission to contribute to help your family, your country, your people. And furthermore, you can help the communities in the world. For that reason, I decide to accept, to let you, as you graduate at level 19, then you can learn the level 20. Because the level 19, in a way, that you are practicing to merge to others, so that in the future, in the level 20, you can merge individually or collectively to merge here and there. And you can help the soul to merge into a body, a new body, and that is a living body. Listen carefully, you can do this, but that is in level 20. Level 19, you ask, I don't answer and show you that. So that is explained for you, so you can understand, so you can rest assured, whether you do the merit more or less, whether you do more or less work, when there is a level 20, you can sign up and I accept for you to come to learn.
Okay.
Next question.
Mozambique.
Deciden ir a nivel 20, entonces trabajen.
English, please.
Uruguay. Okay, this is a question from Uruguay. Thank you, Master, for giving us your knowledge and let us learn with you in this seminar. In your own country recently, in our own country recently, we had many floods and our drinkable plants water treatment almost are collapsed. Dear Master, in crisis time, when could we make drinkable rivers and streams water? Is this question clear?
Energy to help the river, the lake, is that right, to neutralize the toxic?
Yes, when we can start to neutralize the water.
For river and lake.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Now let me explain for you in general. You can never transfer energy to the river or lake. But we can store the water and you can transfer energy to the water we store, but we cannot transfer energy to the lake or the river because each day they have different toxic substance in this water or lake. You don't have the ability to transfer energy to the lake or the river. Even if you transfer energy upstream and downstream, the water is constantly flowing and change, including in the lake that you store the water permanently. There are many toxic and virus in there. You cannot transfer energy to the large lake. It is best if you have a chance, if you have the means, you bring the water out and you store this water and then you transfer energy to help people and to avoid the toxic salt. You don't need much. You don't need much sugar. So you can store salt and sugar so you can help them so they can drink to improve their immune system without the problem of being poisoned. If you want to help them, that is what you can do. The river and the lake, you can not transfer energy to that. So I answer for you so you know how to help. Depending on each situation, you're able to help these people. Now go on, next question.
Okay, Mexico, we wait for next time for Mexico 4.
Okay, dear Master, yesterday you talked about a lake in the south of Chile. This lake suddenly disappeared. One day the lake was there, and a few days later it was not. This happened like 1 month ago. Nobody could say what had happened. The scientists are still researching because now the lake is beginning to be filled again. But yesterday you said that the temperature of the center of the earth could dry that lake. Our question now is the following. We have on one side the warming of the earth. On the other side, we have the high temperature of the center of the earth. In Chile, we have a chain of volcanoes. Will these volcanoes become more active due to those two factors? Thank you, Master.
You listen carefully. Master Dang is not a scientist. I confirm this point for you. Master Dang is only a spiritual master who teach you on the development of spirituality. Spirituality meaning we find the truth, we find enlightenment. Once we have the enlightenment and the truth, we are trying to help people. That we need to have the wisdom to recognize the truth, meaning you have to use our wisdom. It doesn't mean that the truth in an abstract way, so profound that to say it is beautiful to listen. The truth from Master Dang is different. However, let me explain for you. In the case that the scientists had mentioned that inside the Earth core, about 300 kilometers in the center, that is very hot, right in the center of the Earth. 300 kilometers right deep into the Earth core, that hot temperature may drive the lava, that may cause also earthquakes or tsunami. Now, as you know, the planet Earth, for billions of years, from a scientific perspective, from the Big Bang, and it create many of the planets that include this small planet Earth, with the water, with the temperature. That right now, from the scientific researcher, this planet we have 75% of body of water, with 25% of land. Each time when they have a great flood, then we have more body of water. Where the water come from? If underneath Earth, the temperature is hundreds of degrees, very hot, then all of the water we have above. If it is so hot, then we would be so dry, just like the moon. But I remember about more than 7 years ago, the American who landed on the moon, and they saw that there's a body of a billion of water. The scientists that claim whatever they say, we listen. We don't know. They say yeah, they have. Then we believe. We don't know because we are not there. We don't know. And those scientists who research from the American, they say that right now they have 5 billion of gallon of water up there, or 50 billion gallon of water. They have a large lake up on the moon. For me, I'm dumb. With water, then there would be life, and life that will have plants and green plants like us, our planet. You can see that is written just about the moon. I just want to share for you. Now I'm talking about underneath the Earth core. If the temperature about 200-300 kilometers inside the Earth, if it is really hot like that, then for sure 200-300 degrees, and then with the temperature, all of the sea life, they would die. But then recently in Australia here, as I mentioned to you recently, hundreds of whales from the ocean, they swam ashore and died. The temperature underneath the ocean floor in Australia, what are the temperature that caused the whale to swim ashore? So I stop on that point. I pause right here so you can think, and I answer for you. Volcanoes. Can you imagine that what is a volcano in Chile, in the south of Chile? One of the volcano, and after the explosion, there is a large lake. About 12 years ago, I had a chance. I came there. According to legend, after the volcanic eruption, and there is a block of the mountain, and over here there's one lake. And I don't know whether that lake is seawater or not. I wasn't there. I do not know. I would not know clearly about that lake, whether it is seawater or drinking water that was dried up. As about a month ago when I was teaching, that lake dried up, as the student from Chile who reported to me. On the case of the volcanoes, now you can see the volcano, where it come from underneath the ocean floor or the land. If the volcano, if it is underneath the ocean floor, if it is exploded, that would be very hot underneath. If it's hot, then it would the temperature of the ocean would be hot, and all of the animals would have to flee. But how come they're still around and the volcano erupt? So I stop on that point. Now I give you the example. If it is real, that is a coincidence. For example, let's say the mountain right here. Let's say the mountain is right here. Underneath there's the soil. And they have the research underneath the underground. They can drill anything. You can see underneath the ocean, they have a cave, a tunnel from England to go to Paris. So if they have a wall to block the water, just like the tunnel from Paris to go to England, underneath the ocean. And if they have all kind of explosion like here, and if it explode, then it would be just like a volcano eruption. How do you know? I just give you an example. This is from my thinking. So that whole mountain, that is a way for them to use as a secret base to protect themselves. So when there's a great flood and it is all collapsed and everybody die, do you know? That would be just like I'm talking about science fiction. Sometimes in science fiction, if it is real, how do you know? They have a special base for scientific researcher. Do you know about this? No. There's no reason that the mountain and the volcanic eruption, but underneath they have a cave. There's a cave. Underneath, let's say for example, the diameter is 3 meters and then that cave is 2 meters. And from that cave, it links from here to all the way up to the mountain, just like in the structure of the pyramids, from the base up all the way to the top. That is from my imaginary. I think If it is real, I know the scientist is capable to do this. In my country, I know underneath the ocean floor, I went down. Underneath, they don't even need the air conditioner. They have all kind of device underneath the ocean. I had a chance to go underneath to visit. I was fortunate. So that is not so difficult, especially now science and technology. They can travel out to space, and underneath the ocean floor is not so difficult. That is my example I share with you. So in the case of a volcanic eruption, I tell you I only believe 1%. Because from a science and technology, they are so clever. They can use it as a secret base for them to keep. They just use TNT to explode, to break the mountain, and it will be just like the tunnel for the train. You can use explosive, and then you can blow up the mountain to make a tunnel for the train. They can do it because after the volcanic eruption, remember the explosion. Whatever they do, they just blame it as a volcanic eruption. Even if they exploded themselves, they blame it on the volcanic eruption. That is my imaginary. I just make up like a science fiction film. I know the scientists, they have the ability. They can do it if the scientists they want to do it. If they don't want to do it, they don't. If they want to do it, they for sure they can do it. Science fiction, but it is real. So that is my answer for you. So the scientists, they said underneath the Earth, 300 kilometers, it is very hot. I don't believe. The iceberg is melting. I do not believe. Recently in Russia, with the submarine, go into the iceberg and place a flag, so that in the future they can develop an oil field. I am not a scientist. My God, the oil field in land. Why should I place the Russian flag? So that they can develop and exploit, let's say, the drill with the diamond head to drill through all of the iceberg. They could not even find anything. That is also science fiction. I think they're all science fiction, whether it's real or not, but they're all science fiction. So you follow the spiritual path, you have to understand, and whenever they claim, you have to know whether it's real or not. It is not you are guessing, you know for sure. For that reason, I want to train you in level 19 and 20. The soul of the high being merge with you. They will help you so you can understand this. To understand so you can contribute to help other people. It doesn't mean you understand so that you can be the master or to be their ancestor. You learn is not capable, or you're not capable. You claim that you learn this and learn that. You can see that it will be dangerous. It has no benefit. I just want to share with you through the presentation, as you ask. I just give you this program of the scientific science fiction. If the scientists they want to do it and travel to one planet or another, whatever they claim you here. Now, even if you don't, you have to listen because you do not know. To me, as I know, I don't believe. And you do not know, and you believe or not, it's up to you. I do not believe. If I don't know like you, I would believe, because now we are down here. How do we know out in space? What do they have? First, if you are not a scientist, so on that it is sufficient. Go on, next question.
Mexico 4, we're going to try again.
Sorry?
Mexico 4, can we do a sound check before? Yes,
Mexico 4, can you hear now?
Yes,
okay.
Very clear.
Thank you, Dones. Master Dang, you said the reason of suffering is the most frequent spiritual problem in the psychological energy frequency. What do you mean by this? Thank you, Master.
Now, let me explain for you tradition, culture, family, society that causes us to have the disorder inside the human, and we can never bring happiness to yourself. What is the spiritual path? That is to find peace, happiness, What is a spiritual path? That means to have beauty, perfection. That is so good in the words. They use the terminology. It's beauty, truth, and happiness. But in fact, they're suffering, and they say that follow the spiritual path in order to have wisdom and peace. But follow the path and to suffer, then it's better to stay outside in the world. In terminology, they say it's so good. That is the truth, beauty, and perfection. But I change it to suffering. Everybody want good, truth, and kindness, but they are not. They use the name of Buddha, the Sakya. They use the name of Buddha, Sakya. They have the kindness, but they don't have the beauty, the truth, and they change it to suffering. And you say that follow the path, you have to suffer, you have to accept. My God, you need to have peace and happiness. Then your mind would be relaxed, because Buddha had taught that inside you have peace, then you are able to follow the path. That would be the beauty. If inside your body you are not at peace, then how can you find the truth? If you are always busy today, if you are hungry, and you don't know if the disciple come today, you worry about the disciple come to you or not. And then over here they sit like this. This month we don't know the accounting and how many people who come to do the ritual. We don't have enough money to pay the bill. And you want to wait for people who die so that you can do a ritual so that you can pay the bill. Because if you have the ritual, then you have the money. That is the fact. And then you lying there and said, my God, it's supposed to form together for in one temple it will be better, but it's now with one temple. And after 3 months without the bill, then you lose the temple. That also happened. You can see. You take care of everything and you forgot about all of the scriptures because they worry about the bills of the gas, the house, and all the disciples, they tell you to buy it and they will pay. And then when they lose their job, they all hide. And then the disciple tell them to buy the house. The monk put his name to buy the house. And the disciple, they lost their job and they hide somewhere to go to another state. They said that you could promise to give them money, but they don't have money to take care of the family. How can they have next year they will give you the money. This year the bank asking to take the money, so you end up you lose the temple to the bank. Buddha, no, that's why it is the end time. There's no other way. So follow the path, meaning you have to have truth, kindness, and perfection. Meaning you have peace to bring for yourself and others. If you are so worried, how can the student can handle it? I tell you, I see many of these temple, the people who are older retiree, the elders. So each month they have 300, and then they only give the money. So all these people who pay for the temple, many of these elders who die, each time when they die, so instead of 20 a year, after a person who die and they have a ritual, and they can earn 1,000. So instead of paying 20 a month and a year 240, and 4 years almost 1,000, a person who die, then so in that way that they can have the money to pay for the bill for the temple. So being the monk is so suffering. For sure, my God, I do not want to be a Buddhist monk. So they worry, even if they're not a monk, they try to think in order to pay the bill for the temple, not for themselves. So you can see, follow the path. If 8 of them have a big temple, that would be better. But no, each of them, they want their own temple. They have less followers, but they want a temple. I see in Taiwan, the Chinese, they are different. They spend the money to invest into the temple. They invest 100 million to gain 120 million. And you promise, you invest and you promise to pay for the temple. You say that when you die, you can do it. So when you die, they go and ask for the death. So the mother, and he said that you need to help her. So because in the vision, you have to come to the money, and after the death, and every year you have to pay the money for the monk to do the ritual. So that's why they are suffering. We cause a suffering to ourselves. But you have to understand, for these monks, if they want to preach, but they need the means, and they have to take care of themselves, no one else. So you can see. But they do not want to unify. That's why we have wars. The Buddhists, they divide into 3 or 4. One do not agree with the other do not agree with this. So at the end, in the material as well as in the spiritual, they always have divisions. That's how I share with you. So if you understand, as you know, you have to understand in all situations, as you have the ability within our limit, you serve. It would be best. Do not think that ask why and why. Each they have their own mission. It is not yours. Do not judge right, wrong, good, bad. But the reason I mentioned to you, these are all the means to help us so we can relax, to help us to feel at peace. When you have relaxed and feel at peace, you can help the other to be just like us. That is the purpose, that we're able to help other people in terms of wisdom and enlightenment and the truth. Next.
Venezuela, Lisita, Sherry.
Levántese alguien de ustedes. Ali. Enfoca ahí. ¿Ya? Vu,
Yes.
can you listen to me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Vu. How are you? Thank you, Vu, for all your dedication. Okay. The question is the following. If it's the body who sin, since the soul never sinned, what happened with the soul of the person who committed suicide? Is the soul of this person go back to the light, since the body is false and the soul is the truth? Okay, it's clear?
Yes.
Okay. Then she asked, yesterday during the class, you mentioned that the Jewish people who received from God the mission and responsibility to help and unite mankind and to bring peace and love in the whole planet. The Jewish people could not successfully achieve this mission. And you say that he knows, that Master say, I know the secret. Could you elaborate on this? And there is a technical question. Can we merge with the soul of the children?
Is that all, Lisita?
The last one you are here, can we merge with the soul of the children, right?
Yes, okay.
Thank you, Vu.
Now, to the question, as you asked, let me answer for you. As I know from the spiritual world, the soul of those who come to the body and the body commits suicide, the soul is not a high one. The higher soul that would control the body. And the soul is not capable, then instead of the last soul to learn 60 years in this body, but then after 20 or 40 years, it died, the body dies. So it is a pity for that soul. It doesn't have any where to learn, and it feels discouraged. It's not as fortunate to continue on the journey to learn and evolve. And they are being captured by the sorcerers to work for these people who practice black magic. They have to follow whatever the sorcerer tells them to do. Sometimes they do right or wrong. If they are lucky, they see us, the EV practitioner, we can pray to help this soul to evolve to the light or to reincarnate into another body. It is so difficult. As I have mentioned to you in many levels, including the masters in Egypt, including those who learned in Egypt. 10,000 years, they could not even reincarnate. 10,000 years. They have to wait. So it's not so easy that after death that you can reincarnate immediately. First, especially those. And also, as we are sent by the deities, we are different. How come your soul can go through 18 changes when you come to learn in Iwi? You don't have this ability. We don't have this ability. But our body, as the deities have chosen, as they chose our soul to be appropriate to our body now, during this new time, as you learn all the new information, so that it is appropriate to the new changes, so that you can help. If you learn the old information 50 years ago, 50 years now, it's different. If you keep on holding on to the old information to try to convince them, people don't listen to you. Now they can go to the moon already. They can go by aircraft, but you keep on using the boat or riding bicycle, then how can you get there? You need to go on the airplane just like others. Similarly, for me, travel from east to west. If I use a bicycle, by the time I get there, I die already. That's how I share with you. So you can understand and you know to contribute to help people. So for that reason, as you know, a number of you want to die. That also include Master Dang. Before I was a master, I also wanted to die. I see life is so strange. I don't want to live. At that time, I was still working. When I learned on a spiritual path, as I learned a spiritual path, I have all the teaching, but I could not do it. I do not want to live. I see the humans are so strange. And then when I travel abroad, when I become a master, when I want to teach, I see that people are so strange. So in all of this time, I see that people are so strange. I don't want to be like this. But then slowly until now, today, my soul as God has chosen my body. My soul guide me from one point to another. Everything has been in order until now, today. So I teach you in level 19. In the first level 19, when I taught in the beginning of the year 2007, everything has changed for all of you, the students for Master Dang. So everything would change. That is the answer. As the deity answered for me, the deity sent a message to me that in a decade of 21st century, the new people would come. These are the new people, they are strangers. You, us, to prepare for new humans. That I never know who are these new humans. In fact, that's all of you. These are all the souls from the first to the fourth human race with wisdom and enlightenment who volunteer to come to merge to the EV students. That is all of you. So that you have the opportunity to help mankind, to have wisdom and enlightenment, just like now we are learning wisdom and enlightenment. So you listen clearly. That is on the first part I answer for you. And now you want to know. But that person who asked the question, I don't know whether it is Lisita. If it is Lisita, she forgot. And I remember in February 1998, I have explained, as one of the Jew students asked a question in Holland. I remember, I have a very clear memory. And that Jew student asked, how come in Israel, the flag of Israel, with the flag, with the two triangle. I explained that according to the ancient text in Israel, when they designed the flag of Israel, they need to know to use a Star of David, but they need to have two circles so that we can return back to zero. Then we can contribute to help mankind. That I refer to as the yin and yang on this earth, the three-dimensional world. But the flag of Israel, they lack the two circles in the middle. If the flag of Israel, starting from 1948, if they design with the two circles in the flag, then now the Jew can contribute to help the whole world. In the case to have to reach wisdom and enlightenment, they lack only these two. That flag was designed in 1948, I remember. The Jew checked back in the Hebrew text. In fact, in the Hebrew text that they mentioned, that in the future, when they design the flag has to be like this and that. They lack these two circles. So the Jew, to help mankind, they are stuck in that point. If they design the flag with these two circles in the middle, then by now the Jew can help the whole world in the development in the spiritual as well as the material life. That's how I explain for you. But in fact, I do not know anything. That is to the question. In February 1998 until now, that is almost more than nine and a half years now. I do not forget about 9 years. I remember my answer and my question. The student who asked was a Jew. And later on I would know, afterwards, that I would know that person had asked the people in Israel to check the Hebrew text. One of the Jew students, I don't want to mention the name, who revealed to me that in the past I did not know about it. So on that, perhaps Lisita 9 years ago she remembered, but the Master Dang did not forget. But I remind Lisita with my answer. I give the answer. At that time, Lisita was in a meeting in Holland in February 1998. Now, you merge to sick people, you can merge to anyone, there's no problem in terms of age. Now, the infant just from birth, you can merge to help that infant. There's no problem. Do not think that you are big and you only merge to an adult. The soul doesn't. You don't have any distinction between adult or infant. Now the baby is crying, but in fact the soul is your grandfather. So the soul, there's no age. The body may be old and young, but the soul, there is no age. But for sure, when the soul of a person, that soul is an old one, not young. The body may be young, but the soul is old. Next question.
Aruba?
Yes, can you hear me? The question is as follows. Dear Master, in level 18, you said that our soul has no sexual identity. Now Master said that homosexuality is a disorder. Does this have anything to do with the Mekong article when you talk about frequency of psychological energy or mental energy? Please explain more. And how can we as human beings achieve a level of humbleness in this modern day and way of living? Thank you.
So these two questions is also in the same thought I want to share with you. In the case that our nature, we are good from the time of birth. When we grow up, we always follow the kindness, the goodness. But then, when we grow up with our knowledge, we have more knowledge, tradition, culture, family, society, that causes us to be corrupted. That if you know how, then we are fortunate. Then we have less disorder. If not, then we have more disorder, that our soul does not have the ability to control us. In the case of all of this disorder inside the body, that is how I explain for you clearly. Do not think that because of this or that factor that it caused this, but everything comes from society. In the lesson we learn in the material world, there is one. But when you go in school, you learn one. But outside in the living world, in school you learn the theory. It may be so profound, but out in the life, in theory you bring to life, you may fail 100% because it's so complex. So you have to change in the environment. To change due to each circumstance. It's not that you learn in school and you can apply exactly like that. You can only do that in terms of technology. Let's say 5 years ago you apply the technology of 5 years ago, then you may lose your job. You have to learn and update. Regardless of any profession, after you graduate from school, each year you need to update at least one time. If you do not update your skill, then for sure you will lag behind, you will lose your job. So because they always have new ideas to teach you, if you apply the old knowledge, then for sure you would fail in the material world. Let's say in a machine technology, 3-5 years later, they change a new device, new system, for example. If you keep on using the old system, then for sure you can only do the old machine, and with the old machine slowly they go outdated, then you don't have a job. You have to learn new things to help with the new thing, the new devices, then you can succeed in your work. So that is how I explain for you on that concept. So in the case of the environment, that is tradition, culture, society, you see others and you try it. You know why? Because sometimes, in the case of homosexual, they love each other more than love the opposite sex. Sometimes they take care of each other, and like in the psychology of people, they like people who really treat them well. You like people to treat you well. You like the emotions. You like people to love you. But then how come you don't treat them just like that? Then if you treat them like that, then you want people to love you, but you cause problem to them. You block them from loving you, so how can they love you? You think about it. You think, put yourself in their shoes. You want to love others. You want everything, but then you don't even love them. You see people as low. Only Buddha can accept like that. A normal person, they would not accept this. I tell you the truth. Only Jesus, when he's in heaven, he will accept it. If he's down here, he would not. You see that the innocent woman, they want to stone her to death. He said that anyone who has no sin, then you can cast the first stone. If I have sinned, and he was so angry, he said that. Even Jesus, he was angry, he tell them like that. And when they see something that is not appropriate, you tell people to serve you, to take care of you, to do anything for you. And you look at the lowly left people, do not respect them. You ask Buddha for many things. You just put a little offering, but you ask for many things. So Buddha tell you, do not have to. You just do the blessing, helping people. You say you're not, you're so busy. You ask for many things. You just 50 you buy for just a banana, and then you want to ask for favor to win a lottery for 3 million. And if the Buddha did not agree, and you say Buddha is not holy, if Buddha give you a lottery to win 3 million, you would buy 20 more. In the human world, everything is in Vietnam. We have to go both ways. That it will be peaceful. If you give them the cake and then they have to return the favor, you give them the cake and then you throw the stone to you, then my God. So if it is you, would you agree? I see in this world nobody would like that. Let's say you give them a bowl of soup and they give you the bowl of rock, and then even a Buddha, if on the table, he would jump down. Not to talk about the ordinary people. So if you give you some noodles, you have to give them bread if you only have bread, or you give them banana. My God, they give you a bowl of soup for you to eat, and they have, and then you give them back the bowl of rock. Then my God, I see that's how it is in the human world. Now, what can we do? What do you think? You want everything for yourself. You like everything, but just for yourself, and you leave people to die. In that way, that's why we have war. That's why we have chaos. You see that. In the case that the people with homosexuality, I have a person that she said that she's a famous doctor around the world. She's Australian. She has a husband with 2 kids. She divorced her husband and to go to New York to marry another woman. Listen carefully, not to marry a man. They divorced her husband to go to New York to marry another woman. So both ladies, they live happily with each other. They know how to love and take care of each other. She doesn't need a man. So the woman, they know how to treat each other right. I know many people who love their same sex better than their parents. and after they take care of their own boyfriend or girlfriend more than their parents. I have seen them. They don't love her more than their parents, because their parents just keep on always yell at them. So when they see her girlfriend, and they treat her girlfriend, because her mother keep on yelling at her. So that's why she look for another. So now in that case, what can you do? Their parents, so that's why, because you keep on yelling at them. So that's why for the husband, sometimes, my God, the husband got drunk and with drug addicts or social problems. So it's better to love another woman. So without any problem, without even having children. That is a fact. So I tell you the truth. I understand for these people. I understand for all of these people. I understand them. That is from a social standpoint. From a spiritual perspective, they have the same common point, meaning the two souls who accept certain things as a means to help other people to evolve, to give the means for people around to learn. Do not think that they are like that, they're wrong. Now, recognize it, but 50, 100 years ago, nobody would know about that. Now, perhaps in New York, many of these people who are rich and wealthy, they are all homosexual because of the law in America. They agree to let these homosexuals to get married legally. So how come the rich people, they do not give to their parents and children? That is the reason. Their parents do not love them. They don't give. How come they do not love? The children, they just give it to a stranger. Why? You have to know the root. And the reason is just like the case that the student had mentioned to me. That is in the case of homosexual. Because it has no benefit, all of the worries, all of the wealth, not even one. Not even one. But what for? With the career and fame, what for? To bring the light of joy for themselves. They're always in the darkness. One day working 3 jobs to bring the light of joy. They don't have even the light or the joy. So it's better to find another one to take care of them, and they take care of you. So at the end of life, and they die, and at the light of the end, and at least they can see the light of joy. Otherwise, it will be always in the darkness. Just put yourself in that shoes. You will do the same. That is how I explain for you. So this question, I understand for all of those who are in the same shoes, that I understood my student a lot, who are in that situation. That's how I share with you. So I just want to share with you, this one is very important. As you mentioned about the society, I want to share with you. In my country, there is one of the tragic situation. One of the person who is very kind and beautiful, and she's wrongly accused because she's so beautiful. That's why they condemn her, condemn her parents, and because of her life, she has to sell herself. So if you see one of the story, whether it's a legend or the story in my country, so never judge, especially those who are prostitute, because you think that you are good, you are righteous, you have the career and you have a position in life. You look lower at this prostitute. You don't even know. Sometimes you think you are better than them, but in fact, sometimes you are worse than this prostitute. These are the prostitute. These are the prostitute. My God. So I explained for you. So for me, in my life, it is very strange. I never judge these people as people condemning them, but to me, I see these people, I don't worry, I do not judge what they do. I see them because they sacrifice for their family or for themselves. That is one of the special points. When I was young until now, I do not change my mentality. I don't know why. Perhaps in the past, I was in the past I was a pimp. I do not judge or condemn these who are prostitutes. I never think bad of them. Even when I was young until now, I never think like that, condemning them. And when I was young, I never know. I tell you the truth. Now, when I see the youngster at the age of teenager, they know how to love. But at the time when I was 21, I was very innocent, very dumb. Later on, when I was older, I'm more clever. But I just share with you this student, this story as the means, so you learn, so you can have a chance. You are able to contribute to help people. Now, as you talk about humility, you don't need people to praise. You just express humility just for yourself. You don't need people to know it. This morning, the student from Russia who asked a question, and she said that after 18 level, she doesn't know much. That is how you express humility, but she know more or less that as you express, you don't know much, so you can learn. The reason I tell you to sit down on the ground, why? You sit on the ground, then you can look at all the people around you sitting at your level, but if you try to sit higher, then you are departing, you are far away from these people, and they have a lot to information comparing to those who are think you learn high. I tell you an example, one of the real story that the experience that I share with you. That person is an ordinary person who worked in a restaurant 1 year to another. But that person is better than a scholar. Why? Each day he listened 10 stories. Because he's always a servant, she's a servant working in a restaurant. Each day hearing 10 stories. And in 5 years, you can see how much information she has. And those who are powerful, rich people, you're only in your own field. You don't have enough experience in life. All the problems out in society, all the secret, everything. This servant knows everything. And working in the restaurant for 5 years, and when you go out abroad, she knows everything, know to help people, not to be their teacher. And then she was able to find a job to know just to try to be their teacher, meaning you will have no job, meaning you are humble, to know, to listen. So when it's needed, then you can help. When it's needed, then you can express your opinion, to express your opinion to help, not to hurt people. I see that most of the people, nobody say to help, but they always say to hurt people. Meaning, you try to show up that you are good, you are selfish, and you try to say this and that. And you know why? Because by saying you don't get in jail. To say, to show off, to say, to show that you know everything, with that type of saying has no benefit, and also you're hurting yourself and others. In that sense, you do not have the humility. To have humility, meaning you just listen to people. Don't say anything. That is how you express humility. If you try to say much, then you are not humble. However, among your friends, your classmates, as you exchange your knowledge, you know less, you express less, you know more, you express more, to share what you know, your knowledge, that will be different. As you exchange information, that is, it's not you are boasting, but on that you should not be humble, because this is a one, as you are the classmate in the same level, and you are in a large EV family, you exchange your knowledge in order to learn. And on this, you should, whatever you know, you can share. And other, whatever they know, they share. And in this, you combine all together your knowledge, all together to learn. And this is what you need to learn, because you are learning on the spiritual to help in the material. It is not to show off. To show off and to say that you know this and you know that. As you say that you know, and they ask you, you get stuck. Even Master Dang is stuck. Not to mention about you. I know about this. I have learned this already in the beginning. 34 years ago, the deities who revealed to me that the secret. Therefore, the secret of failure for Master Dang, as I learn through, so I teach you this secret, so you don't fail. And without failure, so you have the capacity to contribute to help all of the people in every situation. That I often mention that you should express humility, so that you learn to progress, so we can help whatever is needed. When they come to you, then you can help them. That is how you express your humility. It doesn't mean that you're humble so that people know that you have humility. If you try to do that, then you are not. I mean, at that time, you try to show off. You're not humble. So that's how I explain for you. Now, I'll let you have a few minutes just to settle in. I give you a few minutes, and then everybody gets settled in so we can practice to travel to space. Now begin. Any Spanish? Trẻ con nghe thôi. You, as you have to leave early, so in the morning, you try to come early before the break. Then you and me, we can practice to travel out to space to help a number of you, as you have to leave early. So it is easy for you, so you're able to learn. So there's no problem. So tomorrow in the morning, before the break, then you and me, we can practice to travel out to space.